Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Young and restless Dumas puts Billy and Sally's romance in danger, but not the way you'd expect. Sally's on board, quite literally. On a train, with Billy's plan to travel to France for Aristotle Dumas' private party, but a recent chat with Young and Restless head writer Josh Griffith revealed it's going to be a bit of a bumpy ride for this twosome as they attempt to mix business with pleasure overseas. At first, Sally was appalled by Billy's suggestion that they postpone the launch of Abbott Communications in order to attend the mystery mogul's exclusive gathering in Nice, but it didn't take much to talk her around to the idea of packing up and heading off to the French Riviera, even though they were very much venturing into the unknown, having done both her shopping as well as the mental gymnastics required to justify putting off a launch they'd already teased to the business community. Sally's only remaining reluctance surrounded Billy's pesky obsessiveness over Chancellor popping up repeatedly like a game of Whack-A-Victor. While Sally was able to extract a promise from her other half that they'd leave paradise post-haste if things got too weird or intense, Billy's vow to back off was half-hearted at best. He even suggested that rather than boating off into the sunset, they might, instead, sit back and enjoy the entertainment of watching the others, Victor, become ensnared in a web of Dumas weaving. Young and restless fans were shocked, and many downright dismayed, when Sally walked away from her dream job to hitch her wagon to Billy's new company. So, it should come as no surprise that the conflict ahead is spurned by a growing sense of impatience on her behalf as it becomes more and more obvious that Billy is, once again, chasing the old adrenaline rush of besting Victor as opposed to focusing on building something new and stable. Per Griffith, Sally and Billy will end up at a crossroads where she's forced to say, "Look, we had this new project, this new Abbott Communications going forward. You can't seem to let go of Chancellor. I'm not going to be dragged into your crap at the expense of my future." In Billy's mind, Dumas has dangled the idea of helping him get Chancellor back from Victor and righting the wrong he believes were done to him, and it's about to put his relationship in danger. Coming as a surprise to exactly no one, Billy will become increasingly focused on getting back what he feels was stolen from him, to the point where Sally becomes fed up and gives him something of an ultimatum: "You've got to offer me something if this is the road you're going to go down." We can only assume Billy will promise Sally the COO job at Chancellor once he's back in control. Sally believed in his vision for Abbott Communications, but ousting Victor and Nikki from Catherine's former corporation is downright pie in the sky. Surely, Sally understands by now that Victor never loses, and that Billy's hopes of Dumas championing his cause are a long shot. Will she allow herself and her future to be caught up in her boyfriend's latest gamble, or will she see the writing on the wall and simply walk away? Romance in Genoa City has never been simple. Between boardroom power plays, bitter family rivalries, and enough secrets to fill an encyclopedia, falling in love is as much a gamble as investing in a Newman-backed venture. But for Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra, their surprising spark had begun to feel like something real, something steady. That is, until Aristotle Dumas entered the picture, and now, that spark may be on the verge of being smothered. Not by infidelity. Not by jealousy. Not even by the ghosts of Adam or Victoria. But by something far more cunning: Dumas' unique ability to reshape the very world around him, and turn lovers into pawns without ever lifting a finger, because this time, Dumas isn't trying to break them up. He's trying to buy them. A dangerous offer. It started with what seemed like an ordinary business pitch. Sally, now running a small but thriving creative agency, had recently rebranded a European fashion house and caught the eye of industry insiders. Dumas took notice, not just of her talent, but of her resilience. He admired the way she clawed her way back after every public and private setback. So, he invited her to lunch. "Your work is bold, efficient, and fearless," Dumas said over a sleek plate of sushi. "You think like someone who survived a war. That's what I need." "What kind of war?" Sally asked warily. "The kind that shapes culture," he replied. "I want to build something, a media empire that doesn't just report trends, but sets them. I want you to lead the creative charge." She blinked. "You want to hire me?" "No," he said with a calm smile. "I want to make you a partner." It was the kind of offer she had once only dreamed about. Prestige. Power. A blank check with her name on it. But it came with something else, too, a tripwire, because Dumas didn't just want Sally. He wanted Billy, too. The second proposal. Billy was the last person who thought Dumas would come knocking. He was already juggling co-CEO responsibilities at Chancellor Winters, mentoring Nate through corporate chaos, and trying to stay out of the gravitational pull of Victoria's orbit. But Dumas didn't want him for the boardroom. He wanted him for his voice. "Your podcast," Dumas said as the two men sat at Society, "has reach, influence. But more importantly, honesty. Unfiltered, unspun truth." Billy narrowed his eyes. I don't do flattery, Dumas. Good, Dumas said. Because I'm not flattering you. I'm recruiting you. To do what, exactly? To be the voice of my media venture. Real stories. Real commentary. No strings, except the ones we strategically pull to keep Genoa City paying attention. Billy hesitated. Let me guess. Sally's already on board? Not yet, Dumas said smoothly. But she's thinking about it. She'd be creative director. You'd be editorial lead. Together, you'd shape the message. Together, Billy echoed, a strange mix of intrigue and dread blooming in his chest, the wedge they never saw coming. By the time Billy and Sally compared notes that evening, the idea had already begun burrowing into both their minds. It's huge, Sally said, pacing the floor of their suite at the Grand Phoenix. We could build something from the ground up. No legacy ghosts. No Newman family drama. No Adam. Billy was quiet. Too quiet. You're not on board? She asked, frowning. It's not that, he said. It's just, it feels too curated. Like Dumas wants us to say yes for a reason we're not seeing. She tilted her head. You think it's a trap? I think it's a test. Or worse, a setup. But even as he voiced the fear, his own mind played out the possibilities. Editorial freedom. Creative power. And a rare chance to do something outside the family name. Could they finally be more than just survivors of romantic train wrecks, or was this their next derailment? The first signs of trouble. The cracks began to show almost immediately. Sally, inspired by the potential of Dumas' venture, threw herself into vision boards, logo concepts, and high-level branding meetings. Billy, however, started pulling back, not from the project, but from her. It's like you've already moved in with Dumas, he said one evening after she skipped dinner to prep a pitch deck. Oh, come on, she snapped. You're the one who's suddenly treating this like it's radioactive. Because it is, Billy said. This isn't just a project. It's a power play. And I don't know if we're the architects or the bait. She folded her arms. So what? You don't trust me now? It's not you I don't trust, Billy said. It's him, and what he brings out in us. That one landed like a slap. Not because it was cruel, but because it was true. Dumas had managed, without a single threat or whisper, to introduce a rift, ambition versus instinct. Legacy versus reinvention. And at the center of it all, two people trying to hold on to something that wasn't fully theirs to begin with. Enter Victoria, and then came the twist that no one saw coming. Victoria Newman had been keeping tabs on Dumas ever since his quiet acquisition of a Newman subsidiary went public. She didn't trust him, and she definitely didn't trust his interest in Billy. So she did what Victoria always did when she sensed a threat. She pounced. Be careful, she told Billy after cornering him at Crimson Lights. Dumas doesn't offer anything without expecting twice as much in return. I can handle myself, Billy said. Can you? She asked. Because I've seen this play before. You get pulled in by some big idea, convinced it's your shot at freedom. And then it all burns down, and so do you. This isn't like the podcast, he muttered. No, she said. It's worse. Because this time, you're dragging Sally with you. Billy didn't answer, but her words stuck like a thorn in his side. Dumas reveals his hand. As rumors of the new media venture started to leak, Dumas called a private dinner. Just him, Sally, and Billy. I think it's time we stopped pretending this is just a business transaction, he said. Once dessert was cleared. What do you mean? Sally asked, tension rising. I mean, Dumas said, this isn't about launching a company. It's about launching a message. A narrative. One that redefines influence in Genoa City. Billy frowned. A narrative about what? About you two, Dumas said with a glint in his eye. A scandal-tinged romance turned empire. You were never just my team. You were the story. The brand. The product. Sally's face went pale. You're using us.
We're not
I'm
interested
elevating
in
you,
being
Dumas
characters
corrected.
in your script.
But the question
Dumas
is,
smiled
can you
faintly.
handle it? That's a shame. Because the press release is already in draft. The breaking point. Back at her suite, Sally was pacing again. Only this time, she wasn't inspired. He used us, she said. He knew exactly how to pull us in, make us think this was ours, and now it's all about him. Billy watched her, conflicted. We could walk away. But do you want to? She shot back. Be honest, Billy. A part of you liked it, the idea of being something bigger. Of proving them all wrong. He hesitated. That's what I thought, she said, deflated. Sally, no, she said quietly. I get it. You need to do this. And maybe I do too. But maybe not together. The silence that followed was the kind that cuts deeper than shouting. Epilogue. The fallout. Days passed. Rumors swirled. Some said the project was scrapped. Others claimed it had been greenlit with two new faces. Sally returned to her studio, pouring herself into real work, real clients. Billy doubled down on Chancellor Winters and resumed his podcast, solo, but neither one said the word breakup. Not yet, because in Genoa City, love rarely dies. It just waits in the wings, and somewhere, in a corner suite overlooking the skyline, Dumas watched the fallout with quiet satisfaction that he hadn't needed to break them up. He'd just shown them the cracks already there.